Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Shadow of the Tomb Raider. So I checked some of the achievements here um, as far as just completion. So like it seems to me as far as story achievements and side quests, a lot of people have managed to go as far as I have and probably even a little further. So my own personal slight being burned out as far as these side missions and just wanting to push the story forward is not in line with, I guess, the fandom. Although in all fairness, as a YouTube content creator, I really am playing a game
Jonah,
here
I know where she is. I'm going
that
in.
is
Okay, we're on our way. Did you feel the tremor before?
Yeah, when I was in the cenote, it was a foreshock. The earthquake is coming soon and we have to hurry.
Yeah. When we get Unuratu out, we'll all go find the box together.
so it does seem like we may be going to a whole new area to find the box. Like potentially very far away area. We're trying to free the lady, queen of the rebellion. Anyways, what I was saying is, as a content creator, I'm playing this game because I played the previous two games. I wouldn't be surprised if there is a percentage drop off, 10, 20, maybe even 30% of players who didn't play the sequel to the first Tomb Raider in this rebooted trilogy. And then from that percentage of people who did play the second game, wouldn't be surprised if you lost another 10, 20, 30% of players that just never even purchased or played the third game. And from that perspective, it does kind of make some sense that the people that are left would be the most hardcore fans and would have a higher chance of completing the entirety of the game. So it seems to me like we're going this direction. What's this? There. I can't pull out a weapon. Looks to me like it's a skull. That's some kind of challenge. Where that is just decorative. Meanwhile, we'll grab some resources.
I'm sorry. No one may enter.
They're weirdly
Halt! No one may enter.
not letting me go this direction either. I guess maybe that would be the way to jump into water. It's a weird layout for a design now that we've exposed more of the map. And we apparently just missed the tomb, or there's another way to get into the tomb. And that you have this upper city, you have the lower city, and then you have this almost island prison section, all in this what I would describe as Mesoamerican style. Yeah, I would call it a Mesoamerican style. So we're gonna knock down 3 skeletons in this area as a challenge. Definitely feels like this game is reusing the death sequences more. It's not going crazy with what felt like a lot more custom sequences in the first game of this trilogy.
Shit! It's breaking! That was close.
Now, when you have a time sequence like that, you are effectively admitting that the game is not going to have you come back in that direction. And the game really would force you to use the survival instincts to see where you're going in that case. I just can't imagine you'd be able to actually play this game the first time without survival instincts enabled. Which then continues to make the weird question as far as just why are there perception plants in the first place? Still getting some of that immersive dialogue. Of course, you have to read. But I don't think there's anything to really shoot over here. And see, this is exactly the kind of place where I would have liked to see the archery gameplay element be better integrated with the climbing element, and a lot of the gameplay mechanics would benefit, certainly. Yeah, I think it definitely would benefit greatly if these mechanics crossed over a lot more. And it felt like you were running around the world doing whatever you wanted to do in that world versus potentially running around a linear path doing what you were scripted to do. In the room we started this episode in, there was a ridiculous amount of collectibles and things. And it does seem like now on the standard path, we are getting more of these things.
The Aztecs worshipped him as a force of nature, responsible for the wind and the rain. In his most wrathful tempers, these natural phenomena became extreme, acting to cleanse the earth and sky. Through that, he also became associated with justice and with mercy. According to one legend, he had misbehaved with his sister, and to atone for his shame, he set himself on fire. Then, his ashes rose into the sky, and he became a god of light as well.
So, we missed something over there. Can we go back and get it? We're about to miss something over here, too. Let's see if we can jump and get to that. One thing that I vaguely recall, and I hope this is right, in line with my memory, I would like more of these map updates and secrets being revealed as an idea. But it feels to me, according to my vague memory, that in the second game, while you did have several areas that were almost open, you never really had a reason to go back to those areas. And so I'm wondering if we won't potentially have a bigger change in this game where we actually do potentially unlock and find all the collectibles and get new abilities, and then there is just this potential second pass throughout the entire overworld that makes sense and that you really would want to play and run through. Because right now, I'm very negative on the thought that that's really how this is going to go. To me, it seems very much more likely that, yes, you could go back and fast travel and find collectibles, but the world won't have changed. There won't be stronger enemies or
sturdy to ferry us across them.
shorter paths, easier ways to get collectibles. I guess that's in part like the getting a super ability to fly in any game and taking the going back to an early section in a game could almost just in any generic game drastically change your experience and make it way easier. And arguably almost every game should have some kind of cheat or mod to let you be invincible, fly, do things that are just...
I can barely see the bottom. Hope there is a bottom.
So are we diving down into water? And is that what the dripping water is indicating? Alright, jump and dive. There's no water there. Didn't look like there was water there. But I thought maybe. This might just be a tomb.
I can barely see the bottom. Hope there is a bottom.
So the trick actually is to jump and then hit X. And then end up climbing this. And here we can see the visual glitches still happening quite a bit. Of course, our survival instinct now has a decent chance that it's just going to point us in the direction of the story mode. This is weird. There's like 3 veins here, but I don't see a way that I'm even supposed to reach those veins. So unless there was some kind of explosive ability, or I gained some extra ability, or I gained some magical ability, like you have a slant here that clearly is programmed like most slants are where you're not supposed to be able to reach it, pushing you backwards.
This cavern must have been carved by an underground river.
Maybe we'll flood the area later. But if we do drastically change the layout of the area, then we're probably not coming back to it. Although I guess the game has been fairly willing to allow that to happen in other places. And the real hope is that this isn't just the backwards way and we're gonna hit a one-way gate. Seriously doubt that's what's going to happen. I imagine we're going to find a tomb. Now arguably in this trilogy series they went from having very few tombs to putting a lot of effort into tombs in the second game.
Some kind of carving up there.
Now I'd say it feels like there's probably a little bit less effort in these tombs. But inevitably, if you're not on board with the not on board with the main story of the game, then no amount of side quest content is really going to work for you. You'd think there would be some kind of visual element here to say this is a slippery slope and you can't grab on this ledge, and so you probably shouldn't be swinging and jumping to this ledge.
There must be something behind this. That's not good.
So the whole area does flood. And honestly, that looks like it just flooded to give you a way to go backwards. I wouldn't be surprised if the area floods some more. The shiny gold is nothing. We still need a ton of gold. We still need XP. It does seem like we are probably benefiting from having the skill where you never stumble, because that was annoying. Yeah. See, and I guess this is just a crypt, and crypts are different than tombs. Or challenge tombs. So even in that labeling, you know that there is some of this that is just not as challenging as other stuff. That gave me a skill and a new outfit. If we find a base camp, we could change outfits. Uncover the secrets of 4 ancient crypts in Paititi as a challenge. It doesn't seem to me like you're supposed to actually climb up here. So I guess the only slight concern here would be if all of a sudden you found that there were some piranhas. I would say the large amount of crawl spaces to hide loading and very possibly it's just hiding in loading of textures more than it even is hiding loading in of like level layout and designs. I don't know where to go. Yep. I question if you really ever could drown. Guess we're going this way. And so now it's fairly obvious as to why all of this is here. It wasn't accessible until you could swim to the location. I would question where the foreshadowing would be if we found 4 more or 3 more crypts, and in each of those crypts we flooded an area, or what the significance of that potentially would be to flood in an area. It seems pretty obvious that they had designed it to be able to be flooded in. And there's a survival cache apparently right behind us, but you know what? Just don't think it's worth it. I think we should just move the story forward with the expectation we're going to shoot for 70 to 90% completion, not 100% completion of all the collectibles. Of course, if I at the moment wanted to fast travel to this location, I'd have to fast travel basically to this point and then run through this whole section. So I do expect we'll unlock a shorter fast travel section. Now back to the main plot. Oh, I thought I was going to climb on the wall, but instead it had me grab a ledge. Like grapple with the wall, throw, and then grapple. And then use the ascender, which, by the way, you wouldn't have really had to buy the ascender at this point. I think that highlights the difference potential there of having items that are unnecessary items when really all the items should be story based.
Okay.
I wasn't paying enough attention there. Did he say once you've saved her, come back? Or did he say something else? You don't have any kind of radio log or anything to go back and check. And the quest just says reach Unuratu's prison cell. So we get 100 XP for reaching this point. She's devastated because the box is missing.
I know. I will be forced to join Amaru. Everything I fought for since Heidi's death will be lost.
I won't let that happen. Come on, let's go.
We're out of time. Someone needs to find that box. If the sun is not recharged, or the world we made, all of us will be destroyed.
I found another clue. Maybe. The tattoos on your arm, the heron and the eclipse, the same symbols were found engraved on the altar where the box was taken.
What?
What do the symbols mean?
This one shows my destiny. The crimson fire of Chakchil. And this one grounds my past. It symbolizes Chimchichica, the last true emperor of Paititi. His tomb is in the upper district.
Can you take me there?
They're all over that tomb. If there's anything there, they would no doubt have found it already.
Amaru doesn't have this clue. He doesn't know what to look for.
Wow, just silence for like 20 seconds. Did they stop paying the voice actor?
Crawling with guards.
We'll find our way around them.
It'll be dangerous.
I'm sure.
Seeing several visual glitches in the
There's no time
outfits,
to waste.
shimmering around the edges.
How is it?
So I guess that
Safe.
was just
He
a
helped me
dramatic
find you.
pause.
He should be with Uchu now.
So it would probably help quite a bit if Laura accidentally called Amaru Dr. Dominguez every now and then, just so that we could remember the different names.
The ruling family is displaced, reduced to nothing but a figurehead while we truly control the city. The reason for allowing them to remain in position of seeming power is twofold. It allows us to focus on our search for the silver box, and it acts as a pacifier for the locals who are recalcitrant to any type of change.
We're not shooting any of this. And seemingly we're not going this way. Although it almost seems like at some point there might be a path back in this direction. Instead we are escaping through a crack in the wall, which we had done with the side quest just in the last recording. So doing the same gimmick twice, far too close to each other. Dr.
Jonah,
Dominguez
I'm with Inaratu.
thought that the silver box had been completely moved to another place.
We're sending backup. Should I support Uchu or use the distraction to seize territory?
You're in charge while we're separated, Edsley. Trust your instincts.
So one would assume that this is supposed to be a stealth kill sequence. Maybe with even a little bit of co-op going hand in hand with this. Well, you shall see how far we really get with all that. Now noticeably, it does seem to me like even though I got the skill, stealth kill plus 10 XP, so it's a co-op action scripted sequence apparently, where I'm gonna take one out and then she'll take one out. That stealth kill really only seems like it gave me 10 XP. That's kind of a pathetically small amount of XP. And then this door and path I think will open up at a later point. Not supposed to shoot that apparently. It doesn't seem like anything you do while climbing is going to make that much noise. As far as having a AI like co-op character, a cinematic scripted sequence like this is not bad. She doesn't in any way come off as being,
You lead.
yeah, she's not like a real threat to your progress by potentially dying or falling over or getting stuck somewhere. So you can just not worry about her, which lets you continue through the obsessive compulsive collectathon.
This describes something nearby. A once ferocious warrior, raised as a warning. They fell from his mouth and now lie beneath him.
So somewhere around here is something. Maybe at some point we would get the ability to open this door, and there would be something behind that door. Otherwise you have a real issue here in that it could be anywhere.
Found you.
Nope, I guess this makes sense, though. That was oddly out of place. So maybe this door never does open. It also seems like we're going to be rid of the princess character, and she's just going to go back to the lower city fairly quickly here. 100 XP for getting 100 XP for just reaching a point. Now weirdly, I would have thought that there was going to be actual buildings to interact with this, and that didn't happen. So instead we've just gone in kind of a loop, a fairly small loop, particularly if you ignore the side tomb or the crypt. Yep. And that's definitely not what I was expecting. So it is creating this weird situation where it's almost as if the number of tombs are being increased, but the size of the tombs are getting smaller.
Take this key.
What's the key for? And if I have the flashlight on my outfit, does that
The eclipse is coming.
not expose
Once
me?
it is here, the box must be opened. Temptation of the box is so powerful, it will pull me toward it and tempt me with a fantasy, an easy way to solve our problems. But it will only show me my strongest, most secret desires. I have prepared my whole life to resist it. Amaru has not yet seen the box, but already its power corrupts his mind. Paititi is its people and can only survive by our will together.
So, if Amaru remakes Paititi his way, it's like he destroys it.
Yes. We face many threats from the outside, but risk is a part of life. We must confront it to remain true to ourselves.
How do you know you'll be able to resist the power once you have it?
I don't. But if my training fails me, the Crimson Fire will guide me and hold me to my promise. We should go.
What is the Crimson Fire?
It is my destiny. It's connected to the sacrifice of Kukulkan. When the Crimson Fire smokes, seek your mirror. It's a powerful force of accountability. That's all I know.
Do any of those creatures ever find their way in here?
Creatures?
They attack. In the caverns around Paititi, they were in conflict with Trinity. And at the altar where the box was taken, they came after me.
Do you mean the Yashil?
Yashil. They were tall and fast, hungry, almost desperate.
I would not call them creatures. They're more than that.
Meanwhile, I'm not paying attention to what she's really saying as much as I'm just looking for collectibles. Which that's part of the problem of a game like this too, is that You have this bigger
Key I gave
quest,
you should work here.
and the gameplay mechanic of just having gold makes you come off as just kind of this uninterested, greedy character as you're wandering around looking for collectibles or looking for gold. Seems like you just lost your key.
What happened to the Yashiel?
There are many legends. It was long ago, but Paititi owes much of its safety to them.
They protect it.
I don't know if that's their intention, but their actions have that effect.
They don't ever attack the city.
No. We have always lived in cooperation. I think Amado might be planning a public sacrifice.
Of a rebel. We have to stop it.
No, not unprepared, and not at the expense of the boss. The warrior who will bear this sacrifice will prefer death.
So, where did Our Lady Queen go? Seems like she just walked up here and then disappeared. She's, I guess, going that direction. And we are back into the upper city. And don't know if it really is worth it to run and collect resources. It does seem like you could just wander your way down this direction. Although there's a gate there, so this feels like this might be a higher section of the upper city than what I was able to reach before. And so we are now at the upper part of the city. Levels don't do well with verticality. If anything, I'd say maybe the original Tomb Raider game does a remarkable job with verticality. But in general, video games are easier to play and figure out and just more traditionally very flat things.
The crowd could turn on us.
Don't even know where she is. Guess she's here.
This way.
And then it takes control away from me.
Their leader, the traitor, Ururatu, your fallen queen.
So this is almost certainly something that they wanted to make to show in a trailer. I guess I'm supposed to press forward. It stopped taking control.
Come, see what he does.
But like, I really don't have control with the right stick on the camera, so it's really not so much of a cutscene that you're supposed to actually see something with. You're supposed to, I guess, just press forward to feel like you're playing the game.
Emerald said he wanted an end to violence.
He sees it as a means to an end.
Now, I have no idea as far as this culture, or whether this culture is even based on any real South American cultures, but it's very possible that the sacrifices being depicted here were not done for like political reasons or criminal punishment reasons, and were done
All these people believe
for
him.
religious
They're afraid.
reasons.
And with good reason. Not much farther. The tomb is beyond that door.
It's not unheard of for somebody to see it as a great religious honor to be sacrificed.
Come.
Of course, the story is being written from the perspective of a
Innocent eyes will blink at dawn when weakness falls
totalitarian
away.
leader.
You may pass.
Of course, this now shows
The
us
tomb is
that
up there, on that statue.
Amaratu
I'll watch the
is
I
a
won't be
bad
long.
guy willing to kill people just to maintain power.
Jonah, we're close to the Emperor's tomb.
We're by the river, ready to get you and Unuratu out of there. Let me know when you're ready.
So, yeah. I don't really know what the deal is as far as as far as how they're trying to depict that guy. Well, this definitely seems like this is a smoke bomb section. And we can see there's a couple survival caches. So let's just run here and see what happens. It almost feels like there's some attempt at a puzzle here. We're seeing these potential switches, we're seeing potential doors that could be opened. I'm seeing a lot of stealth. I'm seeing explosive red barrels.
All
So at the
full
very
up.
least,
Can't carry anymore.
we are going through this area at some point with more of a stealth section. If not, then this is just a horrible, horrible example of them setting up for a fight that just doesn't occur. This door doesn't look like it's going to open by my hands. And the noise of the crowd, I feel like that's probably a bit of a mistake. Smoke bomb. So, yeah, unless this was a thing where I was supposed to lighten the path, I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, just walking to the store isn't triggering anything. Walking around in this area doesn't seem to be triggering anything. I half suspect the game is just glitched. Let's just make sure we can't talk to her. And we can't go back. Okay, well, the thing we didn't do is look in the water. So, in the water we go. We've gotten a decent amount of resources. Maybe I'm supposed to just climb that. That does seem believable. And noticeably in this area, there's like 2 survival caches. On the map, and I don't think I found either one of them. Yeah. Says there's one here and there's one there. Alright. Ironically, that rock is actually full of more white chalk than a lot of the other places we have seen climb past. And still, I'd been so trained to look for the browner pass by this point, I missed it completely. Now, standing on this hand isn't going to cause the hand to sink downward. This might be an interesting section if it gets filled with people, and from this point you could use your bow and arrow, but noticeably the game does not seem to really care at all about using your bow and arrow as a weapon. Guess we're climbing over here.
That looks like my way in.
Laura, where are you?
The Emperor's tomb. I almost have what we need.
We'll be ready.
There's something over there.
Someone
Something
is
over
keeping
here.
these fires burning. This figure must be loved.
So is that some kind of challenge? Look at the different corpses?
This altar is elaborate. This must have been an important ruler.
I guess the question to ask here is,
Layers of symbolism in these stucco panels.
should this have been more of the game, where instead of picking up objects that you could 3D view, should there just be things that you can interact with and look at, and then Lara Croft would have her Indiana Jones show-off moment at that point? I don't really trust that, so let's not step on it. But yeah, if interacting with things just got you extra dialogue and made her a bit more chatty without going into that secondary menu, that might have worked a little bit better. It also would have told the player, you know what, a lot of this stuff just doesn't matter, so interact with it if you feel you need to. Learn the basic items that you are going to pick up and collect, and always collect those if you need the resources.
The Inca influence is unmistakable.
If anything, now it feels like from the point of the cutscene of the sacrifice to this could have been a vertical slice demo, and that would explain why all of a sudden we're interacting with objects and just getting small bits of dialogue.
The last Emperor's tomb. The cult must have taken root after his death. Okay, the eclipse and the heron. What am I missing? Wait, did Lopez leave this?
The heart of the serpent is in the cup.
Well, is she gonna figure out the puzzle, or are we gonna then be jumped into a sequence?
In here!
Okay, well that really sucks to walk through that whole area and not collect anything or do anything. Seems like we have just another hint now at something else.
This is Commander Rourke. We've got a lead on the box. Send a team for Croft.
Now, is Rourke from the second game? Do we even know who Rourke is? I don't remember the second game enough to know. I would assume yes.
Give this to Edsley. He's a rightful heir. He must live by TT. He's young, but strong. His spirit as noble as his blood.
Don't go. Keep talking to me.
The box. It will tempt you. Resist. We all create our destiny.
So we got this medallion, but it seems like it's probably just a medallion. And it seems pretty obvious that Lara Croft is now going to have to be. Where did we get the stone cup?
Took the silver box. The heart of the serpent is in the cup, near the many stone faces.
So that's our hint. Can I pull out any guns if I would want to? Yes. So at a certain level you can try to stealth all you want, but so many of these guys are going to be visible to other characters. And noticeably, like I don't even think there's really enough room. And see, if it just blinked orange for a second. Alright. Well, I guess I figured out the reload button when they put a reload prompt there. These explosive jars are not explosive enough. Like, inherently,
Impossible. I can't carry anymore.
like, you're just not really having to fight too much on the easy level of difficulty, and I don't think that there's really a lot of value in making the challenge. Get a few more potential stealth kills. Might as well just use. Interesting. I got hit while healing, so that didn't count. Okay. So we're effectively starting over. Can I get close enough to stealth kill this guy without anybody seeing? See, because I feel like this guy now would just see the body. See, I think the move here is you just gotta get away from the center. I don't know what gun I'm shooting. Shotgun gun? And see, here's a guy who is not in that armor. So maybe there is a way to stealth this out and not raise enough of an alarm that you're not going to have people attack you. Although, nope, the guy just saw me. And so I'm shooting them with the shotgun. There were several people there. I hit 2 or 3 in a row. We're still kind of in that stealth mode.
Can't carry anymore.
Right. Well, I think everybody's dead now. Noticeably, that only helped you a little bit. I'm still not really finding the supply caches either. Feels like there should be one. Where I'm standing right now, it says there is one as far as the survival cache, and then over there it says there's a survival cache. Maybe it's on a lower level. And yeah, maybe I missed out on 10, 20, let's say even 200 XP. Let's just make that large assumption that I could have gotten 200 more XP if I had played better. Do I really need 200 more XP? Not really. It's unnecessary on the easy mode, and it would just be very frustrating. I wish we would get into scenarios where I could have stealthed through some of these encounters, but I just don't think the encounters are designed well enough to make that happen. And this whole Jonah by the boat is very reminiscent of the first game.
Where's Unuratu?
We were attacked. She died fighting Trinity.
Oh no.
I feel like the game needs to explain the silver box more, too, as far as why is it
Where is my mother?
magical, why does it tempt you?
Your mother, she fought hard.
But that's the leader's amulet.
It belongs to you now.
Weirdly, his outfit seems to have gotten more ordinate.
She was a warrior.
Of course, one of the side quests that you could have chosen to skip here, and I don't think we actually finished, was to
Cannot restore the sun.
I'll find the box.
let
I won't let the cult
this
of
boy
Kukulkan
go
get to it
through
first.
like the
Begin the
adulthood
preparations for the burial
ceremony.
chamber. Queen Unuratu will live on within us. Uchu, assist them with the boat. We will prepare for battle. The rebellion must succeed.
We'll be back with the box.
Take care. We will be ready when you return.
He's a very grotesque looking character, that guy is. It tempts me to think that he might be a turncoat bad
Head
guy.
back to Kwakyaku, regroup and take it from there.
So apparently we're not going to a new area, and instead we are leaving the hidden city back to Kwakyaku, the more modern city, which does give less of a chance that we're ever going to get into a really modern city that's very urbanized and has like towers or anything. We're not getting into a place like
All
Tokyo.
that for another riddle.
Although, in all
What
fairness,
did it say?
it probably would be helpful if there was a drastically
The
different
heart of the
area.
serpent is in the cup, near the many stone faces.
Well, it's better than nothing.
I suppose. We need to find the box and end this.
It also seems like the earthquake is very possibly going to happen, and they just didn't want it to happen in the hidden city. But apparently by leaving the hidden city, we can now just be killed cinematically. So she's shot. Which, in all fairness, compared to the first game, her being shot in the arm and black blood coming out for half of the scene is not much of a wound. It's a reasonable wound that you would survive from. Though, unlike her being stabbed in the stomach in the first game, and then playing the entirety of the first game with this stabbed all the way through in the stomach, wound.
Jonah!
I'm a little surprised. At no point in the game did they
Jonah!
ever show that scar. Make a reference to it.
Well, look what I found.
Don't move.
We're getting increasing visual glitches. I assume this is just a cutscene. I'm not pressing any buttons. Even in the second game, they had already kind of made Lara Croft feel too much of a psychotic Avenger type character, killing people. Her going down this path more in the story, I don't think quite does the characterization you would want.
I'm still not
Here we've got
Commander
a
Rourke is
photo
a
of this
highly
guy.
trained, multi-decorated veteran of the U.S. Special Forces. His extensive experience with highly classified and sensitive operations, executed with deadly efficiency, brought him to the attention of the High Council. They recruited him based on his record alone. He is the leader of Trinity's military forces and personally leads the Deacon teams, which have access to custom APCs called Paladins and special ops helicopters called Cardinals. He is Trinity's second in command, answering only to the High Council. While Dominguez is the heart of Trinity, Rourke is the fist. Rourke and Dominguez don't always see eye to eye, but each has a grudging respect for the other.
I don't think we really need the jargon as far as paladins, cardinals, deacons. Things like that seem unnecessary.
The box even exists. Find something. All clear.
Part of the thing to also remind yourself here is that
Come look at this.
What's up, Chief?
the
Nothing in this area.
there's water here, so as soon as one of these guys comes over, I'm gonna die. Be caught.
Got anything?
All full up. Can't carry anymore.
It does kind of seem like
Okay,
you'd have
last time
trouble.
we looked over here, here, maybe here. Is that what you remember?
I don't know. Does it matter? If we missed something the first time, we should look at everything again.
Yeah, good point. Okay. Do you think the river is higher or lower than it was?
Come on, man. Stop asking me to remember things. As soon as Operation Lone Wolf got called off last time, I completely pushed it from my mind.
So am I supposed to be stealth killing these characters, or am I supposed to just be avoiding these characters?
This couldn't wait till morning.
Like, do I maybe not have weapons? Yeah, I don't think I have weapons.
You find something? When I have something to report, I'll report it.
Right, so I can't actually go there.
The rush all of a sudden.
These two guys don't feel like they would be killable.
Got anything?
Stop asking.
Yeah, this guy is like close enough that I should be able to stealth kill him if I can stealth kill him.
It's not around here.
See, my concern here is, let's see, how do we
This
make a
sector
smoke
looks
bomb?
empty.
Heads up, I've got smoke. I'm putting an end to this shit.
And see, that broke some people out of their pattern. Sure. But obviously that's not what they intended. And see, we may run into this problem now where everything up until this point, you really haven't had to be stealthy
I'm still not 100%
and kill
convinced
people.
the box even exists.
Got anything?
All clear. Come look at this. What's up, Chief?
Should I be expecting some kind of glow or mystical humming?
See, that guy, when crossing, could be stealth killed. Well,
It's
I
not
think
around here.
really would have to squeeze around here. And like squeeze to this.
I can't wait to finally see this box I've heard so much about.
Unless I can convince,
Should I be expecting some kind of glow or mystical humming?
unless I can convince somebody to be distracted, seems to me
This sector looks empty.
like your best bet.
Okay, last time.
It's
I think we looked
probably
over here,
to do
here,
this.
maybe here. Is that what you remember?
I don't know. Does it matter?
And I'm just gonna like blindly hit the Y button to kill everybody. So I just blindly ran around there looking for things to collect, things to pick up, and
Can't carry anymore.
people to kill. And see, that's probably the closest we're ever going to get to a nice stealth sequence that you really should be able to stealth and have fun with. And it's just
Forward team, why the fuck are you still
awkward.
looking for that box? You have hostiles in your area.
Well, Dr. Dominguez.
I don't give a damn about Dominguez. Find Lara Croft and kill her.
All full up. Can't carry anymore.
Apparently at some point we have
Spread out way too goddamn thin for
a
that. This was
aerial
research
stealth
operation.
kill.
Let's just spread out and make the best of it. I'll cover that area, you stay here.
So we went in the water.
Amazing how fast.
I told you to stick around.
What the hell happened in the city?
Okay. The general idea here would be to hopefully have your bow and arrow and stealth kill.
I don't have enough space for that.
But I don't have the bow and arrow. So I'm hoping then that this guy will just walk close enough for me to jump down and do an aerial stealth kill, which apparently I have. Although the game never really told me I had that.
You have to admire her persistence.
Better not be fucking around. There's something happening. Hey.
And then when somebody's distracted like that, I suppose you just can almost walk right up to them. Remember, we have the ability that will let you automatically collect items if you stealth kill somebody. We're getting a little bit better performance here. But then you have the game-breaking dialogue.
Lopez had grown pensive since exiting the cenote.
This is just like the worst time to read this.
And when I turned toward the city, at last he spoke, calling for us to stop. Then, after swearing me to silence, he shared with me a secret he had been carrying. That night, by the river, I met with the Emperor. I confessed to him who I was, who we are, and the true purpose of our visit. Trinity's fattened leaders, too busy with politics for even the morning's prayers, are not worthy of the box. The Emperor and I agreed that the only way to keep it safe from them was for me to claim it, take it far from here and hide it until one of the Paititi royal line, a chosen one, can follow his antecedents' clues and rediscover it. Having thus unburdened himself, Lopez turned on his heels and set a course deeper into the jungle.
So Lara Croft can't possibly be part of the Paititi royal line unless she goes back in time and creates the Paititi royal line by having children, which Lara Croft has never been shown as a mother character or
Shit.
it's so flow breaking, but I guess it was alright since at this point we were moving to climbing sections anyways. Honestly, this isn't a terrible transition between stealth and climbing. If the game continued to feel like this, I wouldn't be surprised if it felt like this was a different team working on the back half of the game, and that's why it has a slightly better mix.
Of a mercenary's assignments while working for Trinity. Mexico.
Of course, that's
Kenya,
just speculation.
Siberia. I had my crosshairs on the younger one too, but Rourke had orders for us to leave her alone. This is the bastard who shot Anna.
I have to be reminded who
I've
Anna
suspected
is.
you've been monitoring my communications since Mexico.
Rourke.
Commander Rourke. You've been listening to me, and now I'm listening to you. Another foreshock. How's it feel, knowing you're responsible for all these cataclysms? All that suffering.
I know what I did.
The look on your face when Dominguez told you? But you just had to have that dagger, didn't you?
Interesting that this is the first time we're really having any conversation either.
What the hell am I supposed to do?
Okay, so we have 6
Muniratu's
skill
dead,
points.
Shot in the back by Rourke. I don't have the
We have
box.
this.
Jonah. God. If anything happens to him. God damn it.
Lure animals. Concussive shells, flare rounds. It probably would make some sense to just go with this. Some of this other stuff is probably not useful. We don't really have even a bow and arrow at the moment. Loose arrows simultaneously at 3 locked targets. We don't even have a locked target's ability. Endurance mixture might become more of a thing too. Dodging apparently is also going to become a thing. It just feels like there's a lot of systems here that we haven't even engaged with. We can make flare rounds. We can make concussive shells. Do we want to spend any more points? Sure. Let's increase our speed swimming while we're at it. Now, as far as this goes, I mean, we're kind of missing all of our outfits at the moment, so we could craft this item. And then craft this. Craft this. I'm just using up resources. A lot of these outfits were locked to us while we were in the Hidden City, so now we're potentially out of the Hidden City, so we could go back to just a DLC outfit if we wanted to. Although if you want to play, say, like this, then you have to get the bonus XP instead of getting potentially bonus resources. Before we choose a DLC outfit, though, let's just ask if we have a nice combination here. Taking less damage isn't the worst idea. Being more stealth isn't the worst idea. We still don't really know how to craft outfits. This would be our default outfit, covered in mud. XP from stealth kills. Plant and mineral crafting resources. You know what? I think XP and then longer to detect. It's probably the combination you want. Although maybe not even go with XP as much as just go with making less noise. And at a certain level, I guess that highlights that you are really needing to go with XP increases at the beginning of the game and play with the XP throughout the entire game. This Heron Tunic and Serpent Guard outfits were given to us in the story. And then we have several other outfits that have no benefits at all that potentially were unlocked through the story. Not seemingly unlocked because of doing challenge tombs or subquests or anything like that. It feels like it would make sense if you earned that. But yeah. I could just wear this outfit instead of the custom outfit and have the same benefit. Still seems to me like there's some decent value on this. If I could get bonus XP from non-stealth kills and stealth kills, that would be the ideal outfit to wear. Because then you would have a little bit of everything. Noticeably though, I can't upgrade my weapons. They're just all taken away from me. And where are we? It says Porvenir oil fields. And that is far over across the river. Which, that did seem fairly obvious that this point may have led to this point. And this may be just a short spin backwards here, or this could be the end of the game. It says on the map 54% complete. I don't know if that's collectibles or if that's side quests included or what. So we're seeing these flashing oil flare-ups, which I don't think you can really have that before the oil just bursts into flame and explodes your pipes. But maybe there is some kind of way in which oil, if the pressure is too high, gets burned off.
Croft is moving into your area. Find her.
Cross slipped right through the guys at the beach. It can't happen again.
We'd better do a sweep. Anything interesting in that new shipment?
Thermal goggles, gentlemen. I'll take point.
Find it interesting how the shotgun shells on his shoulder were moving around his shoulder and not just a rigid block of objects.
False positive. Some animal.
Okay, so
Hey, are we getting those lights up or what?
I'm never gonna get them working if you keep pestering me.
What the hell? Bud? What
so that isn't going to work.
I got something.
Where?
Shit. False positive. Some animal.
Can't squeeze
Hey, are we getting those lights
through
up or
this
what?
area.
I'm never gonna get them working if you keep pestering me. What's the damn hurry all of a sudden?
Rourke said Croft's coming through here.
God damn it. Alright, I'm hurrying.
Notice how you have this whole, like, screaming sound.
Here we go.
So if you have thermal goggles,
Anything yet?
Small animals, nothing significant. I'm gonna make a full sweep of the area.
then one would assume the lights being on would make it so he couldn't see.
We'll find her.
But weirdly, it doesn't seem like that's really the case.
I hope somebody can see something.
Weirdly, I could like double stealth kill
Nothing. Nada.
those two if nobody else was looking at them.
Use some backup here. Think the Rourke's alerts for real? Absolutely.
What the fuck is that?
He wouldn't change our orders unless he was sure she was here. Yeah. Better safe than sorry. She's put down too many of our people already.
Not this time. Not this time.
So these two are the last
We'll see how
two,
smart she is.
and I guess the question is,
You better be back in a few minutes. We're taking casualties. Copy
Jesus.
that. Weapons free.
Get to the bottom of this.
Sure. Spread out. Keep your eyes open. Covering weak side.
yeah, it didn't seem like I could get behind those two and stealth kill them.
On me. Eyes open.
Keep your voices
So we're just waiting till people stop seeing him.
might be there.
Hostile area.
So we get an axe finisher attack there. Was hoping for a double stealth kill, but I guess perhaps
I can't carry anymore.
Perhaps that's a case where the axe finisher, well, no, to get a double stealth kill they have to both be yellow.
I don't have enough space
And it
for that.
just doesn't seem like the game wanted to let that happen. And running up here without a bow and arrow
Impossible.
doesn't seem like it
carry
does
anymore.
anything. Getting up here and crawling doesn't seem like it's an option. Plus that would have been really noisy. Yeah, I often suspect that there's potentially an A team and a B team making games, and it's not always the case, certainly, that that's really what happened, but it can feel like that for several reasons, one of which being if all of the playtesting and polish was put into the back part of this game and very little QA playtesting happened in the front half of the game. At some point somebody made kind of like the fatal mistake of saying that the first half of the game was good enough and they stopped running QA testing on it in favor of only having the back half of the game tested for playability. And it really would be more of a playability situation in this case, not so much a bugginess, although we definitely have seen a lot of bugginess, like a lot of crashing in the big city sections. Here's a question: can I break this? So is that going to bring somebody walking around here to fix the lights?
Something's off here.
He's not close enough for me to kill him.
Calling it in. Area's clear. Yeah, we're clear.
There's like raining on the water, on the roof. But it really does not make sense that you would engage with this. It's just not worth it at all to pick up collectibles, if there are any collectibles or anything like that. I remember in the first game you had a lot of these computer terminal looking sections.
As if looking for something in the dark in these ruins wasn't creepy enough. I used to go hunting with my dad in conditions just like this. Except the ruins were creepy old trees. Alright, got any pointers? No matter how good the prey is at staying hidden, you can't go without a mistake forever. All it takes is one tiny slip, and it's all over.
See, it says that guy is stealth. But weirdly... This is an awkward situation. Just kill somebody, stand against the wall, wait till they opt to get close, then kill the next person. I do believe we have just one more guy. All of these characters have guns, so it's really a case of Lara Croft intentionally wanting to stab people to death, that she's not picking up a gun. Perhaps if they had said something along the lines of all the guns were locked via fingerprint sensors or some weird Trinity security measure that would make it so she can't use the guns, that would make more sense. Several explosive barrels here I could have potentially tried to explode, although I'm not sure exactly how I would have exploded them. Let's see. Take this, turn it into a Molotov, throw it there. That could have been a pretty cinematic way to take out some people, but we chose not to do that. Instead, cheating the game mechanics to just stealth kill a bunch of people and get a decent amount of XP for it.
Laura, are you okay? Was that the earthquake? I'm near an oil refinery. Everything's blowing up.
No, Jonah, get off this channel.
What?
They're listening.
Okay.
I'll find you.
So there we lose Jonah. Now I guess that in retrospect it's good that Jonah wasn't following us throughout the entire game. It certainly could have turned into that. I have my climbing axe with me. That's cinematic flow breaking. I assume I was supposed to actually do this. And we still have that visual glitch. So it seems like from this point to this point at least is potentially a cinematic chase sequence. One thing to mention that I learned about the older Lara Croft games is that somewhere around 3 or 4 they
It's a recipe
introduced
for a hallucinogen, sometimes used in war.
They introduced the idea of vehicles, and certainly if you think about like the train sequence in Uncharted and just vehicle sections in games
This should help.
that came out after the first Tomb Raider game came out.
If I use this on my arrows,
kinda
it
makes
could
some
be an
sense.
advantage against Trinity.
We get a new bow and arrow, which of course once you get to a fire pit you'll just switch back to the old bow and arrows you had and upgrades. You didn't lose all the upgrades, obviously. It's not a bird, it's just leaves. Alright. So, we have a bow. We need toxins to make a fear arrow, and we don't have a lot of those. And we have collectibles. Noticeably in the reboot sequence there hasn't been any vehicle sections.
This must
where
be
you drive a
Mama's arrow.
vehicle, and that's a smart
I always
move.
thought her forms of worship were a
It's
fun
not something
tradition.
you really
She
needed
was
in
the
a
Incan
Tomb Raider
goddess of
game.
grain, and her name means maize mother. So if ever a farmer found a strange maize plant, they would dress it up like a doll in honor of her. She was also the goddess of willow trees, so sometimes the farming communities would hang one of their maize dolls from a willow tree and dance around it for her.
Wow, that description seemed oddly happy. You kind of heard this smile, smirk in the way she was saying things, if that makes any sense, which probably
Trinity can
doesn't.
rot in this jungle. And as
Whereas
for the Pytetian Emperor,
this is more of
not
an
even
angry
he can
read.
truly understand just what this box is. But I do, and I know it should not be used by just anyone. That would be catastrophic. Only the purest among us should make the decision as to how to wield the power of the silver box. That is why I must hide it.
So yeah, weird to have one mural be kind of energetic, and then the next collectible to be more tonally accurate to the current point in the narrative, which just highlights that they had no idea where the murals were going to be eventually. Okay, we have one fear arrow, and that tells me we're not going to be using a lot of fear arrows at all.
Tau team, Croft is on a vector toward your position. I say again, Croft is coming to you.
Jesus Christ. Shh.
We'll get her, sir.
Show me her corpse, and your entire team is next in line for deacon training. Rourke out.
Okay.
You heard the man. Let's do this.
So we hit this guy with the fear arrow. He's gonna panic. And shoot this guy eventually.
She's got no chance.
Do I have 4 fear arrows or just 1?
Get more light in here.
Base camp's having trouble receiving me.
Need help?
Let's jump over here and see if we need to see anybody else.
Gotta find out what the hell's going on. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think this highlights maybe why the controls are so wonky up until this point too. If the eventual solution to all problems was just going to be to create massive havoc with fear arrows.
Take point. Guns up. What is that? Jesus, we need to get to the bottom of this.
I don't think.
Stay close. See if you see anything.
So here you run into potentially another problem as far as just where is this checkpoint going to put us?
Tau team, Croft is on a vector toward your position. I say again, Croft is coming to you.
Jesus Christ.
Shh. We'll get her, sir.
Show me her corpse, and your entire team is next in line for deacon training. Rourke out.
You don't look so good.
Jesus. Anyone else got the heebies?
Gotta find out what's going on. Sweep the area.
Now, noticeably, this guy has to get fairly close. And I've just straight up T-posed at this point. Like, that was supposed to be a drop-down stealth kill, and the game just glitched. Although notably, we haven't gone back into a city, so we're not just having the straight crash to death.
I say again, Croft is coming to you.
To the straight crash to desktop.
We'll get her, sir.
Show me her corpse, and your entire team is next in line for deacon training. Rourke out.
Jesus!
We all need some R&R. Oh shit, I better look around.
Keep your heads up!
Nothing really would stop me from just shooting the guy.
Can't do better than that!
Like, am I in any stealth sequence at all at this point? There's like 3 guys. If we could get them both double killed when nobody's looking, that would be great. But it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. See if maybe that would bring somebody new. Nope. I think this is part of the problem you run into even in these level design sequences, is that there's too much AI. There's not enough tight narrative control happening. And so, unlike maybe a Hitman sequence, where doing a single action is almost guaranteed to get the narrative outcome you're expecting. Did I miss the guy? I just don't know how much more of this. Or how many more people there even are. This guy's just gonna find me. I think your best bet is to come back this way and hide in the shadows. At the moment, it does just seem like, since you're underpowered, using the fear weapons makes all the sense in the world. Your natural instincts and senses here, though, really can only help you so far. Because I know there's somebody somewhere around here, one assumes. Just by the audio. But I don't know where that person is. I'm just going to have to take increasingly risky moves to find that character. I can hear footsteps. Looks like there's a rope up here that would have let me slide back to this area. It's not just gonna explode. I don't think you can just move forward. Although maybe you can. Maybe you just move forward. Maybe I had killed everybody around there, and hopefully I'd kind of collected everything I'd wanted to collected. Yeah, this feels like this is going to be a big cinematic chase sequence, if not a walk and talk.
He's not gonna answer, Lara.
What?
Jonah's not a particularly interesting character.
Add your friend Jonah to the list of people you've gotten killed.
Fuck you, Rock.
If you want to pick up his body, it's at the refinery.
I'm coming for you.
So it seems like we may have a fairly abrupt, like, boss fight happening here. In the sense of, yeah, we might as well just turn around and get this document. Finishing off Rourke, who I assume was more of the bad guy introduced in the second game. And then we'll find out if Jonah's dead or not.
With the locals. Didn't want us corrupting them. Luckily, one of the priests developed a taste for bourbon, and as long as I brought a pint with me, he'd lend me his costume, mask and all. Walking through the lower city was like traveling 500 years into the past.
So, yeah. Maybe that's the beginning of a story through other collectibles, maybe. Maybe we'll find something here. Jonah just unceremoniously being killed. I mean, I guess you could do that. It's bad writing, but they haven't really done anything good with Jonah as a character up until this point in the game. And it's not unlike some other scenarios where we've had friends of Lara Croft just unceremoniously be killed. In a lot of ways, this sequence is very reminiscent of like a Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 4 sequence. Alright, we just found something, but I didn't hit the back button fast enough, so whatever. Like, if this was a game with vehicles, we would jump into this vehicle and we would have driven this way. If this was a Resident Evil 4 or 5 game, we would be just about to the point where we would fight a big truck full of zombies driving, or strong chainsaw zombies.
Cardinal 2, I've got a lock on the target. Shit! Opening fire.
So we have to jump here, we have to slide here. This is just like the previous section at the very beginning of the game, where am I supposed to go? At the very beginning of the game, we were platforming to so for the most part, this is just press forward or figure out where you're going. Press left, press right. Be willing to press A a couple times. What this is going to create is a very awkward pause as you're trying to figure out where to go in between each transition, where a smooth action cutscene would not have those awkward pauses.
Sometimes I feel like I have to keep going, and if I don't, then I'll just let everyone down.
Is coming, and this is the first of many catastrophes you're doing.
I have to go! I'm the only one!
You're the only one that can walk!
Wow, that zoom in there on the face definitely looks pre-rendered and definitely looks better than the visuals usually look. If anything, this is almost certainly another point where they could have made a trailer for the game. Yep. And she's just completely disconnected from killing people. No mercy.
Where are you, Rock?
I would say that you really aren't in a good position to just ignore these people.
You can't hide from me, Rock. You are fucking dead.
This is Rourke. I've been called back to Cannes. Winters, Croft is all yours.
So yeah, we couldn't have just sneakily walked right past these people and they wouldn't have shot at me. This is the going berserk mode.
Jesus Christ! We have to hold her off!
I am feathering the I don't think I can hit. I don't think I can kill those. I don't know how I'm supposed to be fighting this weapon. So apparently the explosions are the things damaging the airplane. Not the bullets. I feel like the flashlight element really should have been left. Yes, you do need a flashlight on a lot more points than even where you use it in this game, but visually you didn't need to really depict it. She could have pulled it off of her belt, or she could just have magical perception powers through a herbal medicine, or she could have gotten infrared goggles. So he lied. Jonah is alive. Of course, Jonah could now be shot and killed a second time.
Hey, are you okay?
I'm making everything worse.
You're not. Hey, you're not.
There's a danger at this point, though, that she could just be hallucinating him. Or she could really have...
Come on.
He could have really been killed, then she could have remade the world.
No, Jonah!
What was that clue? The heart of the serpent, something...
The heart of the serpent is in the cup, near the many stone faces.
And what kind of cup are we talking about? Some kind of chalice?
Chalice, that's not very Mayan.
It's in England at the Stonehenge.
Wait. It's not mine. The clue was left by a 17th century missionary, Andrea Lopez, a Jesuit. The serpent in the chalice is a symbol of St. John. We're looking for a Christian holy site.
Like a church of San Juan? That's a pretty common name. Could be dozens.
Not within trekking distance from Paititi.
Come on, the road is this way. We'll get out of here, talk to some people.
So, I guess not Stonehenge, not England.
What would I do without you?
It would actually be nice if at some point in this game you did end up in England, even for a brief moment. Just doesn't even have to be Croft Manor per se, just back to where she was raised. Although I guess England probably isn't much of a home for her. And see, the Heart of the Serpent achievement is what I just got, and 49.7% of players have made it to this point. So, obviously the player base of this game willing to see it all the way through. Maybe that is a bit of a more testament to the benefit of having very high quality graphics, is that it pushes players to want to see more. I totally forgotten about, what is her name, Abigail?
Let's split up. I'll look for signs of Lopez.
We'll ask around, see what we can find out.
If anything, it just kind of feels like
my friend Sarah's an archaeologist. She works near here. You want to go see if she knows anything about your riddle?
That would be great.
Yeah. So we're getting back into a city, so at the risk of the game crashing, we should probably save. Yeah, if anything, it seems like, I'm gonna call her Abigail, she is just being set up as a new team member. Alright, Mission of San Juan. And we haven't really gotten any skills. We're at 0% complete as far as all of this. And that puts it all here. So there's room certainly for tombs all around here. And it definitely seems like there might be room for a whole nother area down here in this lower right corner. I could also see just ending up in the mountain at the end of the game. Probably not the top of that mountain. Over here and around these edges, I suspect we won't see anything more. And yeah, I don't think we're going to end up with another picture. You could have another picture overlapping this section, certainly, and then that could take you to another area. But obviously they're trying to have everything be in this South American art style and general idea. We have different outfits for characters, but for the most part I assume the faces and the body models are the same as in Cozumel or even Quack, whatever it was called. Raise the flags as a challenge. Grab this. Doesn't seem like anything would really stop me from just wandering back in this direction, and it seems like there is some hunting that would happen. I suspect we'll never come back to this refinery, and I suspect there's not any real collectibles or anything to find. As far as weapons go, we can't even really see them, can we? Like, we'd have to go to a fire pit. Conveniently, there is one there. I just found it.
He makes friends so easily. I probably would have walked here to the mission, but Jonah, he just asked Abby for a ride and she said yes. I hope we're in the right place and we can find the box before Trinity. The earthquake hit last night at the oil facility and now there's a volcano. Is this where the next cataclysm will hit? We have to end this before this town ends up like Cozumel.
Clearly at this point in the game they want you to craft these kinds of items, so going in the scavenger route makes some sense. Like, I can't imagine you would do particularly well had you put all of your points into the Red Warrior side first and then done Scavenger second and then done the Seeker elements last. Let's see, Fear Arrow lasts for a longer period of time. I don't even know if you really want that to work that way. Okay, so now all of our guns are back. And we have this recurve bow that could be upgraded compared to what do we have, the 6 Sky Warrior bow, which seems to me like this one hasn't been upgraded at all. What was the one that we had already upgraded quite a bit? This one. Oath Taker's bow. So we'll equip that, and then it's questionable whether anything else could be better. Alright, let's try pistols. Pistol suppressor, pistol sight, and flare seems to be available only on one gun, so 1 or 2 guns. High accuracy, high damage. AB 45. semi-automatic pistol with high capacity magazine. Let's see if we can upgrade this. Use up our resources. Remember, you're not getting any experience though when you're upgrading all this. And weirdly, there isn't an upgrade all button. I guess it probably is changing the appearance of the gun somewhat as I upgrade it, but I'm not sure that's being well reflected. That the angle at which this gun is tilting is a little weird, because it's changing based on what I have highlighted. Alright, so with all those upgrades, what would potentially be better? This gun is better. It just doesn't have the suppressor on it and is a DLC thing. This also is better in 2 metrics. Or 3 metrics out of 5. That's DLC. Now there might be an argument to go with the low accuracy Bishop 600. Not upgrading any of this. Rate of fire. So what do we have here? Laser sight, laser sight, laser sights. Just laser sights. Do a lot more damage with this gun, I think, for slightly less ammo capacity. Well, a lot less ammo capacity. But the way I am using the gun, I really don't need that level of ammo capacity anyways. Before I start to upgrade a secondary gun here though, there's an argument to picking something here and upgrading the shotgun first. No, it doesn't really seem like the layout is any different as far as the visuals on the gun. We're out of resources at this point, so we can't upgrade too much more. It really would just be a different situation if upgrading all of this gave you even 5 XP for each upgrade. It would make a lot more sense if this was a game that had enough enemies to justify 4 different types of weapons too. Weirdly, I would have kind of expected to get more pieces of clothing to need to craft, but it doesn't really seem like that's going to be the case. I assume I could just fast travel anywhere. I wish there was a way to read this didn't even know about these things. These all require going to challenge tombs, and we've apparently missed some challenge tombs or walked past them. I wish there was a way to tell us just how many skill points in total it would take to unlock everything else. It's probably a lot. I could see needing to level up 40, 50 more times, and there just not being enough of a game left to do that. Not without stealth hunting and stealth killing everybody. I could see a whole new game plus element where only 50% of everything has been unlocked. The game now has jumped since the last recording from 49% to 62%, which, yeah, that would put us close to 2/3 of the way done with this game, and that feels right. Like, that definitely feels like that would be an accurate guess as to how much is left, and depending on how much I really want to commit to finding collectibles or doing side tombs would inherently affect just how much more game there's left. As far as achievements, they're not doing me very much help in that we've gotten 34 out of 99 achievements, so by that measure I'm only 1/3 of the way done with the game if I was going to get all the achievements, which I doubt I will. It is going to be weirder, certainly, now that we are approaching the end of the game, to have game flow breaking elements where we're collecting murals and items, artifacts to collect, and notes and things like that. Yeah. And I guess we got a little bit of characterization as far as Lara Croft, but the Lara Croft in this trinity, in this trilogy of games, in this rebooted series, is very much a Lara Croft that has no confidence in herself, that screws up quite a bit. She's just not that cool adventurer that you would have seen in Tomb Raider 1. She's just not that person, and she comes off as just kind of righteously angry. She, like, when she is angry, there's a good reason for it, but it isn't the cool, calm, and collected Indiana Jones ripoff character that you would expect her to be. And cool, perhaps I should find some different synonyms to use, but cool really is where it is at. Like, she doesn't come off as a cool character, whereas Nathan Drake in the Uncharted series, another series I haven't played, I think probably does come off as a little bit more of a cool character. Perhaps too much of a cool character when you eventually realize that he's kind of a slimeball. But yeah, I would rather a confident slimeball any day than an unconfident screw up, which is who we have here as far as Lara Croft. Gia's probably going to save the day in the apocalypse, and then they're probably going to tease some way that the 3 timelines merge. But yeah, I don't have a lot of hope that we'll see another Tomb Raider game that doesn't try to go in a more traditional direction. Although they may just repeat the same mistake, and we may get an announcement of yet another reboot going in a different direction. Anyways, I don't want to ramble on. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to support me further, there's some links down below in the description box. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.